College football just elected its own new pope, and his first order of business, bring Texas and Oklahoma back. This is Locked On Big 12.
You are Locked On Big 12, your daily podcast on the Big 12 Conference, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to a Locked On Big 12, Locked On Baylor crossover. I'm Drake Toll from America's #1 Big 12 podcast, Locked On Big 12. That's Cameron Stewart of Locked On Baylor. Thanks for making our shows your first listen every single day. He co-hosts today because he's mildly funny and has a mustache. We start UT, Oklahoma, back in the Big 12, even UCLA and USC back to a rebuilt Pac-12. That's the goal of the new czar of college football. Then the Big 12 signal callers need a lot more love. Jake Retzlaff to Sawyer Robertson to Sam Levitt and Avery Johnson. Of course, this is the best quarterback league in the country. Like Jalen Daniels might be 8th. That's pretty crazy. Then $205 million, 1 year. That is the biggest NIL deal of all time, and it was turned down. More on that later. If you hit subscribe, we get to keep our jobs. Cam, this name is one we should all familiarize ourselves with. Cody Campbell of Texas Tech is the new co-chairman of the Commission on College Sports. He's a massive Texas Tech guy. He's alongside Nick Saban to try to save college football. And some of his biggest points: preemptive state NIL laws, no employment for players, allow schools to pool media rights, reorganize conferences, and antitrust exemption. Some of the biggest notes he's given: Texas and Oklahoma should never have gone to the SEC. USC and UCLA, Oregon, Washington to the Big Ten makes zero sense. This is the kind of guy who steps into power in college football and says, hey, order of business one, let's go back to the old days.
And I love it, man. Like, let's do it. And the points are great. So, I mean, the points is almost like, let's try to lay it out like the NFL here. NFL, obviously, even media rights distribution, revenue distribution across all 32 teams in the league. And he's like, look, that's a perfect world. Cody Campbell saying this. But what's the start is just getting everyone back in the damn conferences they're supposed to be in. Okay, because Texas and OU moving back to the Big 12 and UCLA and USC, Washington and Oregon back to the Big 10. And then we find like a better way to distribute these TV rights deals. Then you're taking out all the benefits of moving to those conferences. Because as he lays out here, you know, now all conferences really want to do is get more time zones. And this has been going on for over a decade now. Like we've talked about it. You think the Big 10 really cares about Rutgers or Maryland? No, they care about New York City and DC. They care about those television markets. Honestly, Brett Yormark, hate to say it to you guys, how much did he care about Arizona State? Not a ton, but they were good athletic programs that he could bring in here and add another time zone, which helps with the TV media rights deals because there's more games they can put on at quote unquote prime time. I just think from a fan standpoint, like taking out all the TV markets and the money side of it, like from a fan standpoint, which is what we really care about, it's getting too ridiculous. And none of these athletic directors care. Like nobody cares that Baylor's not playing Tech this year, except for the fans and the players and some of the coaches. But that we're no longer serving the fans with this sport. We're serving the media deals. We're serving the TV revenue. It's just ridiculous, man. But we've already been over that part of it. I love what Cody Campbell's saying here. He's like, there's a way that we can make this worthwhile for everyone and for all of this to still make sense for teams at the Atlantic Coast Conference not to be playing in the Pacific time zone.
Yeah, it's common sense. Welcome back to common sense college football. That's what 2025 should be with Cody Campbell in charge. The biggest problem with him being in charge and trying to implement a lot of these things is Nick Saban sits in the chair beside him. And not only is Saban a huge SEC guy, obviously, he said it on Pat McAfee last November. He is looking to a 40-team college football. Like, let's consolidate. That's the future of the league, is make it more NFL-wise. Then we can regulate it easier. Whereas the way that Cody Campbell brings this up is, hey, let's just remember when we loved this 10 years ago when you know the SEC on CBS theme song kicked in, or Texas and Texas Tech was a good old-fashioned ball game that happened every season, and you wondered who's going to win because Texas isn't very good right now. Those are the days of college football Cody Campbell wants to go back to. And John Kurtz brings up a really good point when this was kind of all tweeted out, saying that Cody Campbell obviously is cool with UCLA going back to the Big Ten, with OU and Texas back to the Big 12. Greg Flugar brings up a great point here too. And this is maybe the biggest question alongside Nick Saban in this chair is how far do you go to make college sports equitable? How do you make the WAC as popular as the Big 12 or the SEC, right? How do you draw the line of equity in college football? Because if you go back 10 years, you still have the WAC.
Sure.
Way behind the Big 12.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was never equitable in the way that the NFL is. And I think that's the glaring part of this comparison. We can make it more equitable for the Power Four because by making it less equitable, we now have a Power Four instead of a Power Five. And what I find interesting about the Saban thing is like he's talked about that a few times, right? The consolidating, let's do a 40-team league. And really what Cody Campbell's laying out here is like, how about if we throw it back, we'll do a 12-team college football, your conference. Like that's what you can focus on. That's where the bowl bids are. Like the crazier we get with conference realignment and playoff expansion, the more it's just like, screw it, man. Let's just go back to the BCS. Let's let the computers do it. Then we'll have some juice behind some of these other bowl games. But right now, this is crazy with auto bids and the teams that are going to which conference because they have auto bids or because they give you more money. You know, there's those Oregons that go to the Big Ten because, you know, they have a better chance to succeed on the national level. And now they'll get more auto bids into the college football playoff. And then there's a team like Nebraska that goes into the Big Ten just because it makes more money and doesn't help their product on the football field at all. In fact, it hurt it quite a bit. So it's like Saban's trying to consolidate it. It's like we already had that. And your conference, not necessarily your fault, Nick, but your conference kind of started to screw that up. And so did the Big Ten as well. It's ideal, man. I like Kurtz, man. Kurtz is great.
Kurtz is good, dude.
Why is Kurtz like always so rational, man?
Can we just get
the answers?
Locked on John Kurtz? Which is in essence kind of what he does.
Pretty much.
Loop the brand in?
Don't say that too loud. It'll take my job, man.
He would dominate this place. Coming up, the Big 12 is the best quarterback league in the country. But no one's talking about this. The names are just so deep. No one's talking about it. This is a Locked On Big 12, Locked On Baylor crossover. Hey, today's show brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel is where I go to make money. Like I genuinely don't love the NBA playoffs all the time. This year it's been so much better, not just because there's a ton of parity, but because FanDuel is in my back pocket. And with the playoffs in full swing and the can't miss moments happening, I have a vested interest in those because before tip-off I put $20 on the Nuggets or $20 on the Knicks, and player props, performance trends, same game parlays. Fans have even more ways to get in on the action and win big. When a player shows up big in the biggest moments, Nikola Jokic, no surprise. Hey, $25 on his over on points. Bang, cash. Or how about this? $200 in bonus bets to add to the excitement if your first $5 bet hits. If you're new to FanDuel, it's the perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com. Place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Cameron Stewart of Locked On Baylor. Jake Retzlaff, good quarterback, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
Sam Levitt.
I like to think he is.
Good quarterback?
Yeah, he's no Sawyer Robertson, but yeah, he's good.
Rocco Beck?
Good. Good to the kids, too.
Avery Johnson? Good quarterback.
Pass.
Sawyer Robertson?
Good. Very good. Yes.
Hey, who wouldn't be shocked if Jalen Daniels has a bounce-back season, or even Connor Wegman, or that kid from Utah who threw 12 interceptions and 12 touchdowns that ran for like 6,000 yards last season? Maybe he, because that worked for Baylor last year. Maybe he ends up being pretty good too. The Big 12 last year was known as this great quarterback league in college football. Shedeur Sanders was kind of at the forefront of that going into the season. And this year, like, I can't name but a handful of SEC quarterbacks that are returning, or Big Ten quarterbacks that are returning. The longevity of the Big 12 QB and the amount of names that were spectacular just last season equates to the best quarterback league in the country, and I don't think enough people are talking about the depth, at the very least, the depth of what this league is about to offer.
I mean, it really feels like what the Big 12 was 10 years ago. Probably won't be as much of a track meet, but like when we're talking the days of Baker Mayfield and Patrick Mahomes and Kyler Murray and Will Greer and all these guys, Geno Smith, like they were real. And that's not even to mention the Baylor guys, like they were lighting up the scoreboards. And I think some analysts, national analysts, still believe that's what the Big 12 is or was a couple years ago when it was not that. But now we're back. Because, I mean, it took me till like a couple of weeks ago to realize Jalen Daniels is even coming back. Yeah. Connor Wegman was like still has a lot of good football left in him, I think. And Houston really desperately needs that. Like you go down this list 1 through 16, and you've got some real top tier quarterbacks, whether the people at ESPN know it or not. Because last year you talked about it, like it was Shedeur and everyone else in terms of, the national media and what they thought about the Big 12. And they were just like, oh yeah, I guess Arizona State guy must be good. They're in the playoff. But with us in the Big 12, we were like, it's Shedeur and a lot of other really good guys. Like last year was the start of this. And you talk about the returners, like obviously Sawyer Robertson, Sam Leavitt at the top of that, but also Jalen Daniels and Noah Fafita is coming back. That guy had 2 years ago.
Still plays Big 12
still
football.
College football, man. It is. I actually went on a show, a Texas Tech show. I recorded it earlier today, and they asked like, what's Baylor's weakness here? Like what would trip them up barring a major injury? And I said, honestly, it's their defense getting picked apart by this league. You look at the schedule, like you might not have a bunch of numbers next to names, but everybody's got a good quarterback, just about. Utah, I don't know. But everybody's got a good quarterback in this league that can win a game by themselves. And we haven't had that in a long time in the Big 12, but this is damn good. I mean, Sawyer Robertson, I would argue, is one of the top 3 or 4 returning quarterbacks in America right now. And he was snubbed for all Big 12 behind another Big 12 quarterback that's returning in Sam Leavitt. You go up and down the list, and there are very few teams in this conference that are wanting for a starting quarterback.
We didn't say Josh Hoover,
Hoover's flies under the radar, man. He really does.
Also good at football.
And with no running game, too. I don't like giving props to the TCU guys, but he had 0 running game last year, and he was one of the best quarterbacks in the conference.
Anytime Baron Morton doesn't play Baylor, he can be a good quarterback.
Talk about slept on. I mean, I'm victim of it right now, or perpetrating it right now, because he's not in that discussion. I don't think he's as good as Sawyer Robertson, but you look at the numbers, and Baron Morton is right there with Leavitt and Robertson. Like, he's right there with those guys. Putting Avery Johnson ahead of Sawyer Robertson or Sam Leavitt on any one of these lists is asinine, but like Baron Morton just slides under the radar because Tech's had a pretty good running game with Taj Brooks and everything, but like he's been statistically right there with the top guys in the conference.
Reminds me a lot of Josh Hoover. Gives me Josh Hoover vibes. You don't always bring him up first in conversation, but you find your way there. You're like, oh shoot, yeah, that guy's also good. Kind of anchors the back end of your argument. Devin Dampier at Utah kind of made a jest of this earlier, but he did rush for 1,200 yards last season and 19 touchdowns. He scored 19 touchdowns on the ground, while also passing for 2,800. So that's something. Caden Salter at Colorado. This kid was like a name on ESPN last year as Liberty was mowing through school. So when they opened the season and seemed really good. And yeah, of course they dropped off. But there for a second, Caden Salter had an American thing going on. They also brought in a massive freshman quarterback who could start. Brennan Sorsby. He beat Arizona State last year.
Cincinnati was low-key sneaking up on everybody in the middle of last season. Then they stopped doing that, but they were doing that in the middle of the season. Can I give you another name since we're just guys naming dudes right now?
Give me another name.
This was a kid who was a Texas product. He actually wanted to go to Baylor. That was not reciprocated. And he was a serial winner in high school. I think you know where I'm probably going with this.
Yeah.
He went to TCU, and I was so bummed. And now he's going to be a starting quarterback somewhere else in the Big 12. Haas Haney is what you want Avery Johnson to be. Like, that's what he's going to be. This Haas Haney. I don't know if the rest of the team.
You don't love Avery Johnson.
I just don't like that he's put in that top tier. I actually do like Avery Johnson, but I don't like he's not Sawyer Robertson or Sam Levitt. And there's still a lot of people in this conference that want you to think that he is because he's a great runner. And he is a great runner. But total yards, when you factor the rushing yards in, obviously, in total yards, he's got like 15 more total yards than Sawyer Robertson had last year. And Sawyer had 2 less games. So like we're not that this is not like the, oh my gosh, he's such a better runner that he needs to be in that discussion. He shouldn't be. And Avery Johnson will now sneak up on people. But Haas Haney, do not sleep on this guy. I don't even know if it's this year. He's still a kid. He's going to be, did he redshirt last year? True sophomore or redshirt freshman?
He's a child.
And he is a child who knows how to win because he went to Aledo High School. But that kid is going to be like, he has the makeup of an Avery Johnson. It's going to be an exciting one to watch. So up and down, man. Like you're putting Haas Haney at the bottom of your list because we haven't seen him play yet. Like this is a tremendous quarterback conference. Maybe that is what gets the ESPN people to wake up, just because the quarterbacks are so good.
Not to mention, I want to give credit to Nico Marchiol, who, when he needed to play for West Virginia, was good last season, or has been good in the past. Dylan Risk for UCF. When he played for UCF, they're at the end of the season, you're like, who is this?
Not much of a risk.
Why is he good? He's the one who beat Utah, helped them beat Utah in that last game of the year. And that is...
And like Jake Retzlaff, who we've thrown in once or twice, like, is he the most lighted up kind of quarterback in this conference? No. But they just won 11 games, man. Like, and he was the quarterback the whole season. Yeah, so he doesn't put you in harm's way. He helps you win games, man.
He's the 6th best quarterback maybe in the Big 12 in a loaded quarterback conference, which is fine. There's not an issue with that. And you have Sawyer Robertson, and we already mentioned kind of Avery Johnson and Josh Hoover and Baron Morton being in the middle of Noah Fafita. So the SEC, conversely, Arch Manning, we know him. Garrett Nussmeier.
I mean, kind of, by the way. Like, I think Arch is going to be a great quarterback too, but how much has he played? You know what I mean?
I would rather have Sawyer Robertson now.
Right. Like, he's penciled in to win the Heisman, and it's like, okay, but let's actually see.
So, but we figure he'll be good. Garrett Nussmeier, Lenora Sellers, that's a name. DJ Lagway, there's 4. Then their 5th best quarterback, probably the Vanderbilt kid, who's like 27.
Javier,
Past that,
would you take him? Would you take him or
no? Not over Sawyer Robertson, Levitt, or I'd take Retzlaff all day.
Retzlaff wins more.
John Mateer, Talon Green, Marcel Reed. These are names made up in the middle of these are AI generated names.
Talon Green lost to Oklahoma State last year. Like,
yes,
he did something that no Big 12 quarterback did last year, that was lose to Oklahoma State.
He's the best running back in the SEC that they placed in the quarterback position. The list, Austin Simmons. Where does Austin Simmons play for 500?
Yes.
He's the Ole Miss starting quarterback. That's how bad.
Sure.
Gunnar Stockton, Jackson Arnold, still alive. Still alive. Ty Simpson, Bo Prabula, Zach Calzada is going to start.
Whoa.
Yeah.
For whomst?
Kentucky. Connor Wegman
still playing college football?
Connor Wegman, Zach Calzada, Jackson Arnold.
Beat Alabama like 4 years ago?
Cade Klubnik, Wegman, like the list of names, you're like, holy 2019. My brain is exploding of guys.
Like, I feel like Baylor's about to go to the Sugar Bowl here with this, man.
And then lest we forget our Lord and Savior Blake Shapen, who will be Mississippi State starting. It's such a worse quote.
Where's Blake in the power rankings?
This isn't even in the Big 12 has more depth. The Big 12 is just so much better at quarterback than even the big powerful SEC. That was actually a really fun game of naming SEC quarter, including the Ole Miss kid is Austin Simmons.
Of course it is. Obviously,
they generated him in the middle of the two.
That is a my player, EA 25, like for the quarterback who didn't put his name in, didn't take $60,
and he's a white guy, but you can tell the voice they made for him, the voice actor, very obviously wasn't Austin Simmons. If you've ever done the my player thing, the voice actor is great.
Back to pass is Simmons. And Simmons complete.
Coming up, $205 million NIL deal. What? Locked on Big 12. A $205 million NIL deal has been presented to Alabama's best player. $205 million. Wrap your head around that. And he turned it down. Ryan Williams rejects that offer in an insane move from the Texas Longhorns. This per Alabama fans, Alabama football on Facebook. And if you click on the link to the report, the article, it says, buy your favorite quilt betting set all over print now.
Hey, they had the Saban retirement first, though. I think they had the Saban retirement before anybody else.
It is the TMZ of Facebook, $205 million. Once again, and this applies to every Big 12 school, because I have seen it for everyone in this like Big 12 Insiders Facebook chat. Dave Aranda gave up his entire salary per year, every year, to help the orphanage hospital, the hospital solely for orphaned children.
You know, I have not been able to confirm anything contrary to that, Drake. So I'm not ready to just say that's false.
On par with Dave Aranda being jointly arrested with Sawyer Robertson and thrown in prison, so they cannot coach nor play next
We got
season.
FOIA. We can maybe look into that.
There is this prevalent thing that what I'm getting at here. The boomers of the world have united on Facebook, not just in religion or politics, which was the big thing forever. They're eating children or whatever.
Sure.
Like these graphics go super viral. It has now made its way to the sports world, where blowing up on that app is a $205 million offer from UT. That is very obviously false. Not a real thing. It's
what?
It doesn't exist. This is my opportunity to take 7 minutes and give a PSA to the world. It's gone too far. By the
way, like my dad has been watching sports for 60 years. He's like the smartest person I know. And like once a month, I'll get something that's almost this drastic in a screenshot sent to me. And it'll be like, is this real? Did Dave Aranda really get arrested last night? It's like even the bulldozers getting tripped up on some of these. We need to help our boomers, man. We need to help our elderly.
I very recently got a text from someone that said,
also my dad. Yeah.
Wait, the Savannah Bananas games are free the rest of the year? Saw it on Facebook. Nope. Actually, no. We sat down as an organization, considered it, and decided against it in the end.
Like it's a DirecTV package or something. Every game the rest of the year is free if you sign up for season tickets next year.
Free. I send these to you once a month, and I see a lot of them that surround Baylor and these Baylor chats. No one monitors them, and boomers have collected them as sports media knowledge fact. Like this has become their entire life and world. This has happened to Dion being signed by the Dallas Cowboys. It was this massive deal. Yeah. Someone on Facebook posted the graphic, and very typically the name, I don't know how I want to put it.
Yeah.
The name
you gotta sound them out.
The name tied to these posts typically have an abnormal amount of consonants. That's the only thing that I'm getting at. They're
not exactly like Anglo names, you know. They're not WASP names typically.
Too many consonants for you to be like, I feel like that guy's probably not from Grosbeck. I don't think.
And I do, like, I get every once in a while someone will take a picture of these, not my dad, but a picture of these, and we'll send it to the Locked On account and be like, is this on tomorrow's show?
So this one is an example that I sent you recently. Robert Griffin III hired by Baylor, which he was in search for a job there for a second. So that part would make a little bit of sense. Hey, he's going to be the offensive coordinator, which
this is one that I got, by the way.
He's going to be the offensive coordinator.
Confirmed one that I got.
And this is where I want to, and the link is 08sportsnews.com. Baylor Bears legend returns. Robert, so you think it's real, and they end up taking all your information. And it's posted by Vivian Dushima, Splash Studio. Last name, one word, Splash Studio. This one went viral amongst the Baylor world for being legitimate. This one, 5-star receiver Cam Coleman, 7'5", 265 pounds, has committed to Baylor Bears, and is expected to break.
And yet they still have the balls to rank Tech's portal class ahead of ours. Are you kidding me?
And is expected to break and reset a new SEC draft record. You can read more. That one's from Paul Anderson. So
famously from the SEC draft. Like, I watch the SEC draft every year, but this guy's going to break one of those records. I have to see it to believe it.
Paul Anderson kind of kills my entire take from earlier. These are running rampant on Facebook. And if you are a Facebook user, this is not too dissimilar from our friend Peppermint Patty, who visited us many years ago in the Baylor realm. And
she loves the college football draft. She wanted us to tank that one year.
She wanted Baylor to immediately. Did she want them to fire Sean Bell, or is she pro Sean Bell?
Ooh,
whatever she was aggressively on board with it. But she wanted one staff member.
She wanted to fire him. I think she wanted to fire him.
She wanted him very super fired. And she did Kyron Durance, Virginia
because
Tech.
she didn't like Shapen, remember, because he didn't thank his receivers.
Correct.
Which has long been the problem with Baylor's quarterback room, I have to say.
She thought that, which, by the way...
Did Avery Johnson thank his receivers? I think not. Come
to find out, she was right about a lot of things, and I think they fired everyone that she requested the university end up firing.
Pretty much.
But those kind of people exist in our world. This one, elite QB Arch Manning flips commitment to Baylor Bears over Auburn and Alabama in 2025 class. This is what worries me about it is the very first comment from Scott Stark says he might start. Shit. This guy's telling his coworkers who are probably on the same playing field as him. You hear the news, Arch Manning to Baylor, and he's got the graphic to show them.
Or worse yet, there's someone at the water cooler who's not on that level. They're above that level. And I get this all the time. I'm sure you do too. I mean, you work in sports, maybe not as much, but like I would get this all the time in an office setting where I'm clearly the smartest sports person there. And they'll be like, "Did you see this, man?" And I have to be like, it's not real. He's in a Texas shirt right there. He's not coming.
The Comic Sans, not even just the Helvetica, committed to Baylor Bears across the graphic. Yes. Committed to Baylor Bears.
This is like the old like Chiron of like baseball games from 1968. And it flashes up. It's like Carl Yastrzemski. It's the most basic graphic ever. Like that's what that looks like in the year 2025, man.
So my message to you, I wanted to cash some happy checks today and let the world know that stop. Just delete Facebook altogether. Just you don't need it.
Yeah, it's probably past its prime a little bit.
Where can Bill Belichick? I wonder if he's got Facebook. Where can folks find more of your work or whatever?
I would say, first off, follow me on Facebook for sure. I'm reposting all of these. I actually had to stop posting the Locked On Baylor stuff to Facebook for other reasons, but at Locked On Baylor on Twitter, at Real Cam Stewart on Twitter, X, if you want to call it that. Sometimes some funny takes. Sometimes I crash out about my professional basketball team. But yeah, Locked On Baylor 5 days a week. Also like Locked On Big 12. So yeah, like and subscribe to that, and then you can just keep listening here, but like and subscribe to that for sure.
This has been Always Will Be Locked On. Thanks for making it your first listen every single day. A crossover with Baylor and Dose Grande.